Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Boy, I'll tell you what a difference just a day makes. It is absolutely gorgeous out here this morning. The sun's hitting me right there on the cheek, so nice and warm. And boy, all the birds are singing up some kind of a song, that's for sure. And look at how green this is filled in. Absolutely beautiful. I'll tell you, it is something. Some days you just feel so much more alive than other days. I don't know why that is. My brother has a saying, I've said it before, but I really like it. You know, folks wake up and say, "Oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed," and that, and he'll say, "Hey, at least you didn't wake up on the wrong side of the dirt." I kind of like that, I'll tell you. It's really great just to be alive sometimes, isn't it? Well, guys, I'll tell you what. The articles that I'm reading this morning, boy, are they telling a story to be sure. The first one there is, of course, having to deal with this whole China US dollar deal. And you got Macron from France going out there. And apparently he's supposed to be a Western ally, right? Well, he's gone over there to China and had this major tour over there and literally promised the Chinese that when it comes to Taiwan, there's not going to be any pushback from France whatsoever. And a lot of folks are saying, hey, look, the behavior that Macron is displaying right now is literally showing that he's already surrendered to what he thinks is going to be the winning side in this whole dollar conflict and this control for dominance. Because, guys, when he was there in China, he was signing deals like crazy. And on top of that, they're thinking that that might be the big reason why you saw that 65,000 ton purchase of liquid natural gas from the UAE that France made, and they paid for it in Chinese yuan. This guy has literally kind of betrayed all of his European partners, and he's racing towards the trough before any of the rest of them get there. At least that's the way that they seem to present it. And I'll tell you what, guys, if that's the case, what he's doing to his own people and the social controls that this guy wants to implement, I think he's playing right out of the Chinese playbook. It is something else. And I sure hope that those folks over there in France literally boot this guy out on his rear. What he's doing and how he's even betraying his own people, the people that put him in office. And it's just absolutely obscene. But guys, this is what we see from these politicians. They literally do it. They're looking out for their best interests, and that's just how it goes. And we need to really wake up to that. These guys are not out there representing us, that's for sure. They're out there representing special interests. They're out there representing all the lobbyists that they support and agree with, and they're obviously out there representing themselves. Now, having said that, the DXY, I'm telling you, you're going to eventually see it is going to run out of steam, and it's already dipping right now. And hey, what a day to wake up to XRP and Bitcoin and all. Bitcoin, we're over 30 grand. And with XRP, we're scratching up there at what, 53 cents? Guys, a lot of folks are looking at this space and, oh, nothing's really going to happen and all this and that, and it's going to take them by such surprise when it does that by the time they wake up to the true reality of it, we're going to be halfway to Venus. I'm telling you, it is going to be something else. And on top of that, guys, think of this. How many people, forget about those that are prejudiced against this space, because there's lots of people out there that are, they just don't trust it and da-da-da-da. But think of the number of folks that are absolutely oblivious to it. That's what's even more mesmerizing, because when you think of the impacts that this digital economy is going to have in their lives, and they literally have absolutely no clue about what's coming, it truly boggles my mind every time I think about it, or anytime I'm introduced to somebody and they're asking, what's a CBDC? And they just have absolutely zero clue when you consider the impacts that this digital economy that we're being moved into is going to have in their lives. It truly is mind-boggling. But that's what happens, guys, when you get most of your information from the Fifth Estate. They just literally want to corral the herd down these various chutes, getting them all distracted with all this stuff. Do you honestly think this whole deal with Trump is really the degree to which it's being reported is going to be that much big a deal on the world stage when you got all this other stuff going on? I mean, they are literally driving us to a global conflict. And I'll tell you what, it's not over all these political ideals that they like to throw out there and, oh, how we need to go out there and support, Ukraine and all this. Guys, we are talking about what? The almighty buck. That's really what's going on here, because what we're seeing is a major, major global shift when it comes to economic power. Do you think sanctions are going to work in a new digital economy the way things are going now? Not with BRICS. Way they're setting it up and setting up an actual currency for themselves operated under distributed ledger technology. Do you really think that any of these Western sanctions are going to hold water once the US dollar loses world reserve currency status, which let's be honest, guys, it already has. In fact, all we have, it's dead as a doornail. We just haven't had the funeral yet. That's what's truly going on. Don't think that these political influences that used to be able to be applied because the US dollar had that kind of status, and literally you could cut countries out of the financial system and they would be begging for whatever you had to offer, and that's why sanctions would work. Well, those sanctions aren't going to work anymore, and in fact I think they actually nailed themselves into their own coffin when they tried to throw all these sanctions against Russia. Do you think Russia's hurting? Absolutely not. Do you realize the ruble is trading against the dollar stronger than it ever has? And think of this too, guys. When you're thinking about the US dollar, there are more $100 bills in Russia than there are in the United States of America. That's a fact. And they're dumping them, and they're dumping them like crazy, and they can influence the price of the dollar because they have held so much in reserve, and they can literally just absolutely dump it, and that's what they're doing. And we set ourselves up for this, or I should say this, our politicians set us up for this whole deal way back there, guys, when they were just printing it off like it was no tomorrow. I mean, one stat that I read that really was mind-boggling is when Obama came into office. Now, it's not about Obama or this or that. It's just about a timing and around that time. Do you realize that the debt that has actually been accumulated by the United States during that presidency and all the way through was literally more than all the presidents combined all the way back to George Washington? That is mesmerizing, but it shows you the signs of the times, and they have been printing this, pumping these dollars out like no tomorrow, and literally just cashing in on all of the, the positive views that people would have had over the American economy. And I'm telling you, now that we've lost this petrodollar status, and the next thing to truly fall on a global scale is going to be the US dollar as the world reserve currency, and it is going to be over. If you think it's bad now, don't just hold your breath. Just wait for it. It is going to be something that you and I have never seen. But for those of us that had a little bit of foresight and could see what's coming down the road and have not been asleep at the wheel and have gotten into this digital asset space as early as we did, it is my personal belief that we are about to see one of the greatest wealth transfers, if not the greatest wealth transfer in the history of mankind. It is going to be mind-boggling. And you just think of all those people that have been poo-pooing this space for time immemorial, it seems. Wait and see. Because this digital asset space is literally the backbone and the underlayer and the infrastructure for their new financial system in the central bank digital currencies, and the way in which this new digital economy is going to work on a global level. Just wait for it. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, that was a little bit of a soapbox to be sure. But hey, sometimes it's got to be said. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And I'll tell you what, until later on today when we release our video regularly, heck, sometimes they don't get out until much later than what I want. But a lot of that has to do with what's going on in the family. By the way, give you an update. Judy is still recovering there and going through all the steps that she has to do to get healthy and whole. And of course, we are praying for her mom that her transition, to glory will be without pain and will be just such a celebration and a speedy one. Judy's mom is 92, for those who don't know, and she has stage 4 bone and liver cancer, and it's fairly aggressive. So, we're just praying that she goes in peace and in victory and not in pain. And so, hey, if you guys can lift Ruth Ann up in prayer, I would really value that. Judy and I would really, really value that. And we have one of the best, if not the best, I believe it's the best community in all of crypto, to be sure. And guys, I enjoy you so much. You've been such a great support for us, and we sure hope that you're getting some out of what we give back to you. So anyway, guys, until later on today, have a great one and take care.